To all the content creators out there, I truly respect you because I've been trying to record this video for the last 30 minutes. I've jotted down notes and I've recorded, but then my camera decided to go off. I didn't have enough storage. I am building a tool and I'm building in public and I want to document that like Avatar, right? And I'm trying to get my thoughts out, to get my thoughts clear. So I've jotted down some notes and I'm going through them. But my goodness, the energy, the time, all of the things that can potentially go wrong, the not knowing what to say at different parts. I see these videos and they're so clean, they're so polished, they're so smooth. This is all a play. This is all magic to me at this moment. And you know what? I've decided I'm just going to freestyle. I'm going to freestyle it because I know the tool I'm building and I know that it will help people. So here it goes. My name is Alio. I'm building a Sass tool, an AI Sass tool. I've been in web development for the last 12 years. This is what I studied at university. And so I have met a lot of people from different industries, different walks of life. And one thing I've figured out is that they are good at their product or their service, but they're not necessarily good at business. And I realized that the reason why they're not as successful as they need to be is because they do not have a system in place. They do not have a framework. And over the last 5-6 years, I have extracted and dissected the things that I believe are necessary to have success. And when I say success, I'm talking about sustainable abundance. I do not believe you should work your business. I believe you should own your business. Most of the entrepreneurs that I know, small business owners that I know, they're working in the business. They're extremely underpaid for the amount of hours that they put in. And you shouldn't need to burn yourself out. I burnt myself out. I ended up in hospital because I too didn't have a framework. And so I spent the last 6 years to bring everything that I've learned over the last decade and more into a framework, a system, so that you, if you're interested, can benefit from this. I've systemized the process so much that you can understand it. You can understand what each stage is about. And there are 4 stages. And I'll break them down for you. Stage number 1, your message. Message mastery. You need to know what your message is. Who you are, what you're about, who you serve, what your purpose is. Right? Once you know that, that's a very high level as well. Once you know that, you can then move on to audience acquisition. Because you know who your people are, right? Specifically. You also will know where they're hanging out, where they're having conversations. And if you know where they're having conversations, these are the channels where you need to focus on. And once you're focusing on those channels, because you've discovered who they are in the first stage, the M stage, you know how they communicate, how they like to be communicated. You know their interests, their likes, their psychodemographic, all of the things you need to know about them. And now you can communicate to them clearly. Once you're at that stage, you are able to move to the content engine, where you produce content according to your own voice, your own story. But the customer is the hero. The customer is the one who is the most important part of that story. Because without the customer, you don't have a business. So although your story is very important, it needs to be tightly bounded to your customer. And it needs to be synergized in order for you to build authority, for them to know you, like you, trust you, and for them to give you the money, which then goes over to the E stage in my framework, which is the E in MACE, which is lifetime value. Once you've completed the previous 3 stages, the last stage is how long you maintain them for. Most people are trying to get more customers. That's not the trick. The trick is to retain your customers. The more you retain them, the happier they are, the more they spend with you. It is easier to get more money out of your customers that you already have than it is to find new ones. Because the ones that you have also can become your greatest advocates. And this is what you want. You want a loyal community of customers who believe in you and your product or your service so much that they are your advocates. And this is a framework that I've built. It is simple in understanding it, but the details that go into it has so much more than you can even think of, because it's also niche agnostic. It's industry agnostic. It doesn't matter who you are, what business or service you are in. These are the steps that all successful businesses they take. Coca-Cola, Nike, IKEA, they all go back to the first stage. And if you skip that, no amount of content that you produce is going to give you the result that you want. Because all that's going to happen, if you're skipping the first stage, if you're confused, you're going to produce content to create more confusion. If you're unclear, you're going to create more content to create, everything that's unclear. But if you're clear on what your message is, then the more content you create will create that clarity and that authority. Now, I'm building a community on school. It's specific because I do not believe that everything that we do has to be guarded behind financial transaction. I believe that if you can come to the table with something of value, then you should have that mutual understanding where you benefit and another person benefit. I am not against business. I'm not anti-business. Of course not. I think that business should grow, business should be sustainable, and it should be abundant. But I'm just saying, we've been taught that everything costs. Well, I don't believe that. So I'm going to open up the space on school so that I can connect with those who think like me. And if you're interested, I'll drop the link in the description below. You can join me on school. And I hopefully, if you're in the inner circle, I will help you to get your business, your brand, your message in a system, in a framework using MACE so that you can experience sustainable abundance, whatever sustainable abundance means to you. This is it. This is it. I did it. I did it. I did it. Tomorrow, I'll be talking about something else. I think I'm talking about the proving what I've built so that it's not theory. You can see what I'm talking about. It's spring equinox. I've released the video. I hope you guys, anyone who watch it, hope you like it. I'm out. I'm Alio. Bye.